Nurturing the Garden with Keith Ramsey. Good morning, Keith at Garden Supply Company. This morning we're talking about screen plants, plants that'll make your neighbors go away. And it doesn't have to be like you don't like your neighbors. You shouldn't have to get out of your car and speak to a neighbor on your left side and a neighbor on your right side. You should have some border and some little bit of safety when you land your car and you want to open the door and pull your groceries out. You shouldn't be confronted with neighbors, immediately. And certainly in the backyard when you're going back to relax, no matter the size of the yard, you should have some privacy, and it should be your retreat. And a great place to invite neighbors over too. But you shouldn't walk out onto your deck and see neighbors from all sides. So I think for a little sanity, that's really one of the first things besides shade plants that you should put into your landscape. Give yourself the privacy you need to enjoy your yard. A few plants that we use very commonly, there's a lot of plants out there, but cryptomeria, it's a really tall screen plant. It'll get 30 or 40 feet tall. Green giant arborvitaes, they're one of our #1 plants. Great texture, fast growing, 3 feet a year. Cryptomerias are the same way. Emerald green arborvitaes, it's a shorter plant, it's a more narrow plant, and it requires more plants to give you the screen, but it works in a really tight space, which is nice. And it has a really, really soft texture. A perfect plant to combine something that's got a broadleaf evergreen. So one of my favorite plants is a ligustrum. It's a lush plant. It gets about 10 to 12 feet tall. Flowers in the spring, white flowers. It's getting ready to flower now. And then purple berries in the fall. Combining these two, a good friend of mine, Suzanne Edney, taught me that you can put a flower arrangement together and show people how a plant's going to go together. But that broadleaf evergreen with that fine texture of the emerald green arborvitae just works really, really well together. And then you've got the white flowers of the ligustrum. So both of these plants get about 10 to 12 feet tall. Both of them are good for tight spaces, and both of them are going to give you some sanity in your backyard. Chindo viburnum is another one. Chindos will get big broadleaf evergreen, very similar to a magnolia. Magnolia, you've got that big bold foliage. The chindo, you've got the same big bold foliage, and you can see when you start putting that plant together, you've got that evergreen fine texture, and then you've got the big bold texture of a magnolia, and it just makes a perfect companion plant. You might do three cryptomerias in a row, and then do one magnolia. And with magnolias, you're going to get the summer flowering, sweet fragrance. It's a perfect southern plant. If you wanted a shorter screen, you'd use an emerald green down the side of your yard, and as you get to the back of the yard, you might pop a magnolia in, and you can certainly see the texture difference there. It's just a perfect complementing texture. So tea olive is another one. Tea olive blooms twice a year. The foliage isn't quite as lush. This red growth is all new red growth. The dark green foliage, holly-like, in that it has a little bit of a pricker on the side, but it's another plant that is it's perfect in the same place that a ligustrum is. But when you first move into a house, look at your views, look at the screen, especially in the fall when the leaves start to drop. Take another hard look at it and start filling in some of those areas, and enjoy your backyard.